Hello everybody, Casey in the kitchen, and we are getting ready to cook. So come on in, say hello as you jump on. Let me know if you are catching this live or if you're watching the replay. All right, let me share this real quick. Okay, so I have been cleaning out my fridge and freezer for the last week to 10 days. It has been a challenge, but challenge accepted. So tonight I am making actually one of our favorite soups. It is very healthy and so good. In fact, I asked my husband last night, I said, is it gonna be weird if I make a soup for us tomorrow night? Because, you know, it's summertime. I don't typically do soups in the summertime, but this one is good enough to do just that. So this is the spinach and lentil soup. I love making this in our multi-cooker. The multi-cooker is the electric pressure cooker. It is such a power tool in the kitchen. So with this, you have a 6-quart stainless steel pot here. I am gonna go ahead and get this started. By the way, all of our electrics come with a cooking guide. This is actually the cooking guide that came with the quick cooker, which was our first version of a pressure cooker, and then we updated a couple years ago to the multi-cooker, which does even more. You can sterilize, you can proof bread, you can make yogurt, you can do your hard-boiled eggs, your rice, your pasta, your potatoes, your beans, and even sous vide in here. Yeah, it knows it all. We're gonna make soup. So I am gonna go ahead and turn that to the sear setting. So that is just like heating up a hot pan, okay? So on the sear setting, I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. And down inside of there, this recipe, if you need this recipe, just holler at me, but it did come in our first cooking guide to the quick cooker. I'm gonna add in some oil, but not just any oil. I'm using our garlic infused canola oil because it is my favorite. Tons of flavor, and you don't have to use that much. Maybe like a teaspoon is what I put down inside of there. So let's go ahead and cut up our vegetables. So vegetables for this, which was a big part of why I chose this recipe, I had carrots, celery, and onion in my fridge I needed to use. So we're gonna cut that up with our Rapid Prep mandolin. This guy right here, amazing. I've had several mandolins. This takes the cake. Makes it so easy, so fast. This guy comes up like this, but stores down in place. This all folds up and lays on top of here. Just super easy to use. It's got a ton of different settings in the back. You can slice, fry, cut, or julienne. I'm actually just using the slice setting today because that's all I need to do. So here's where the food shoot is. I'm gonna start off with our onion. In those 3 settings, there's also 8 different thicknesses that you can choose. I got it done about halfway. So like I said, all I'm doing is chopping that up. I don't need this to be any special because it's all gonna cook down. We're just pushing that through with the food pusher here. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw in this celery right on the top here. We'll go ahead and get that started. And then use the food pusher. Meanwhile, my oil is just heating up in this pan here. It's nearly ready for me. We're almost done cutting up these veggies. We're gonna do our carrots next. Our carrots, again, we're just gonna throw those down in there. And you can julienne carrots, you can make French fries in here. Guys, it just makes everything so fast and easy. Again, we don't need this to be pretty because it's all just going in a soup and cooking down. But there we have all of our veggies chopped up. Super fast, didn't take any time at all. And we're gonna put that right down into our hot pot. And then this whole mandolin actually goes through the dishwasher too. Or you can hand wash, whatever floats your boat. All right, so we got all that in there. We're gonna let that start to sear. We're also gonna add in some fresh garlic with our garlic press here. If you don't have the garlic press, ooh, missing out. If you're using garlic powder, garlic salt, you are not getting the flavor that you're gonna get with this garlic press. If you're using that jarred garlic that you store in the fridge, let me tell you, that stuff is chock full of chemicals. There's a reason why it stays good in your fridge for so long, because it's got formaldehyde in it. Ew. Ew, okay? So we just put the garlic right down inside of there and squeeze. We'll take the tool in the back, scrape this off. And that's how easy it is to have fresh garlic. Now, when you're buying fresh garlic, you're gonna buy a bulb of it. That's the whole thing all together. And then you're gonna break off a clove. This is just a clove of garlic. But I'm telling you, you start using fresh garlic in your food, everyone will notice because it is a game changer. So just scrape out that peel that stays down inside of there. Now this piece of garlic is pretty big. I wanted to show you guys this. Did you know that you can just cut it in half for those super big pieces of garlic that you have a hard time fitting down into your press? Yeah, it's that simple. All right, one more. Those are 3 pretty big pieces of garlic. I actually double this recipe. Every time I make it, I double it, and that's what I'm doing today because we really like this. And if I have leftover and we don't eat all of it now, guess what? I'm just gonna freeze it. I'll freeze it in little smaller containers that I can take out and just heat up maybe for a lunch sometime, or maybe we're doing a, you know, not so much stress dinner and I have something already in the freezer. All right, so we've got those veggies going down in there along with our garlic and our garlic infused canola oil. Next thing we're gonna add in is some seasoning. I am going to salt and pepper it. I'm using our salt and pepper grinder, which I love, 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 because it is super easy to use and fill. It doesn't have that center pull like a lot of the grinders will have, which makes it hard to fill it with your salt or your pepper. And it has this stand, so it keeps everything contained and clean. Next, we're gonna add in some cumin. Here we have some ground cumin. A single recipe calls for a teaspoon. I'm doing a double, so of course that's 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Then we are going to add in, you guys, this comes together in no time. We're almost done. Oh, I love that smell of cumin. So good. All right, next we're going to add in red lentils. They look, is the same shape as a regular lentil, which is kind of a brown with a bit of a greenish hue on it. But these are red lentils, and that's what we're using. Single recipe is 1 cup, double like I'm making, 2 cups red lentils. Then I have some broth I've already mixed up here. And I'm actually gonna fill this one more time with water. So I made my broth concentrate. I need 8 cups of broth, and I made the concentrate for 8 cups, and now I'm just gonna finish off with the rest of my water. So let me grab that, talk amongst yourselves. Let me know you're joining, say hello from wherever you are joining from and what you are having for dinner while I fill this up with water. All right, so we got 4 more cups of water we're adding in there because I already added enough of the broth to the first 4 cups. And lastly, before we put our lid on and start to pressure cook this, is some bay leaves. So the bay leaves, you just put down inside of your food. If something calls for bay leaves, you just put it down in there, let it cook in there, and then you're going to remove it before you serve. So that'll be the first thing that I do. Once this has finished cooking, I release the pressure, take the lid off. I will take those 2 bay leaves out before adding the rest of my ingredients. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this, which means I'm just turning off the sear function on this so that I can set it for my soup setting. So we're gonna put the lid on, the lid's in place. I'm actually going to turn it to the soup setting, which is right over here. And it comes up with 30 minutes, but guess what? We only need 10. So I am going to, oops, I pushed it too many times. Let's try that one more time. Pampered, not perfect. You guys, anybody can do this job. All I'm doing is cooking and showing you how. Okay, so we have it on the soup setting, and I'm gonna turn that down from 30 minutes down to 10, and hold that to start, and it's coming up to pressure. So on the front here, it's gonna show you kind of like a pie. So it's gonna fill all the way around. That pie is gonna fill, and then it's come up to pressure. Once it's come up to pressure, the little red indicator in the back here is gonna pop up so you know it's under pressure, and it's gonna start counting down from the 10 minutes. So bring it up to pressure, cook for 10 minutes, and then it automatically starts to naturally release, or you can manually release the pressure. So safe to use. I had somebody ask me just the other day, oh my gosh, is that the kind of pressure cooker that explodes? No, it's not, because Pampered Chef wouldn't put something out like that. They made safety features on here that keep it from getting hot on the outside. It has a lock inside the lid that won't let it do anything. If it needs to do anything, it'll just slowly start releasing the pressure, get rid of all that pressure, and then you can easily get into it. So once that comes to pressure, cooks, and then I release it, I'm gonna take the lid back off, take the bay leaves out, and then the next step is I am going to add in my spinach. Remember, this is spinach lentil soup. But we don't need to add in the spinach until the end. It will like cook in an instant. If you've ever put fresh spinach into some cookware and you're cooking it, it cooks in no time. So I have my spinach over here. By the way, if you buy a bag of spinach from the store, come home, wash it. I find the best way to keep it fresh, put it in a bowl like this. These are our glass bowls, which might still be on our outlet. Go grab them. I love the glass bowls. And I just put a paper towel over the top, and then I cover it and put it in the fridge, and it stays fresh so much longer than leaving it in the bag. So that's a tip for you. So with this, I'm just gonna use our salad choppers. If you don't have the salad choppers, these are going to be your new BFF, okay? These I use all the time, cutting up chicken and pork, anything you put down into a crock pot and then have to try to shred it up. I use the salad choppers. I also make fresh pico and salsa with them, cut anything up. I like to use them backwards like a stapler, but you can absolutely use them this direction as well. It's just whatever fits best in your hand. And I find everybody's a little bit different. About half of people like it this direction, half people like it the other way. Whatever works best for you. My hand just happens to be stronger using it like this. You don't have to do this part. You can just dump the spinach in once that soup is done and it's nice and hot. But I'm telling you, I love to chop up my spinach because I love fresh spinach, but I don't like it long and stringy. And this chops it all up super fine, so it combines with everything. And it's just a lot easier, and I feel like it's more appealing that way. My kids always ate it better that way too. But you can chop up fresh salad with this. Like I said, so easy to use. This little red part here locks it closed. Once you are done, you can put them through the dishwasher. I use them for so many things. All right, we got that mostly chopped up. And the next thing we're gonna do to get ready is squeeze the juice. Anybody know what movie that's from? That's dating me. Okay, so we're gonna take our lime here and go ahead and cut it in half and use our citrus press. Of course, I just want to show you guys these tools. I could wait until this is done and then add that in and then add this fresh in. I'm just gonna put it all together here in this bowl and then add everything in this bowl to the multi-cooker when it's done. So cut side down, because that's where the juice comes out. If you put it in there like this, the way it looks like it fits, guess what? You squeeze really hard, juice in the eyes, okay? That's a no-no. You don't want to do that. Ask me how I know. All right, so we just squeeze this together, just like this. Get all the juice out. So good. Look how it just turns that lime inside out. And this is gonna bring so much freshness to this soup. It kicks it up a notch. There was one time I made this and I didn't have a fresh lime and we ate it. I was like, man, it's just like something's missing. And the fresh lime juice completes the picture. And we are adding a can of coconut milk. Remember, I am doubling this recipe, so I use a whole can of it. We're gonna open up this can with our smooth edge can opener, even though it has a pop top on it. Don't use a pop top cans because it leaves a super sharp edge. Don't do it. Just refrain. Use a smooth edge can opener anyway. It works just the same. And you don't have that sharp edge. And do you know how many people call me and say, oh, my spatula has cuts all over the side? Guess what? It's from all those pop top cans. So stop using them. Stop doing that. All right, so this one actually opened right on up, but no sharp edges here or here. Now with coconut milk, what happens is the solid is here on top. Let's use this and I'll show you guys what's gonna happen here. So I've got my whisk here that I use to whisk up my, what was that? Broth, yeah. So down inside of here, the solid and the, I don't know, the juice, the milk, whatever, it separates in the can. So you do wanna make sure and mix that back up. So all I'm gonna do is take all of that out of there, whisk it together, just like this, and then you see what the coconut milk is supposed to look like once it's mixed back up. And that's it. So this is gonna cook. It's almost up to pressure, and then it's gonna start cooking for the 10 minutes. We're gonna add in the spinach and the lime juice and our coconut milk after we take out the bay leaves, right? And then we have dinner. So easy. Spinach lentil soup in the multi-cooker using the mandolin to chop your veggies so fast. And you guys, you're gonna love it. you've got to try this recipe. Let me know if you need the recipe, if you have any questions, or if there's anything at all I can do to help. Let me know. Thanks for joining me. Let me know what you thought of this recipe. Bye guys.